Hey guys! So today I wanted to talk a little bit more about what's going on in my studio and a glimpse into the work that I've been doing recently and just generally sharing with you. So I hope you enjoy it. Good morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you are, hello. I had a really busy week. I've been sick recently, and so it was really exciting to finally feel a little bit better and actually be productive. So I was busy, and I want to show you what I was up to. I'm just going to put this aside for now. I did a little bit of an art haul from Jackson's in the UK. They were having a sale on Schminke paints, and oh my gosh, it took forever to get here because somehow it got routed through Singapore, but they arrived. I purchased 6 Schminke paints because they're a little bit expensive in the US. 3 of them are from the super granulating line. I got Tundra Violet, Forest Blue, and Forest Green, and then a handful of ones that I thought would work well with it. So I got Raw Umber, Mahogany Brown, and Cobalt Green Deep. I was able to find out exactly which ones I wanted to buy because I got some samples from Dr. Kano in Scotland, all the way from Scotland. If you don't know about her, she does a wonderful YouTube channel. I highly recommend you check it out. And in addition to that, she has a Patreon subscription, which I am part of, and I was able to request some of these watercolor dot cards. So from the dot cards, I was then able to save myself a little bit of money and decide which ones I thought would really work for me. And so I chose Tundra Violet, Forest Green, and Forest Blue. And so far they've been really exciting. This painting that I did spontaneously yesterday was painted exclusively with these paints. I was able to put them in, oops, oh my goodness, what a mess. I was about to say I was able to put them in pans to dry, but that one's not quite dry because I used it yesterday probably a little too soon. But also, I will say, with Schminke paints in general, they are more viscous than Daniel Smith, if you are used to using Daniel Smith. Just be aware that if you're going to pour them into a palette with a half pan, that it might get a little messy. And that's okay, because watercolor is messy. The other thing that I wanted to show you, though, is that in addition to using these new paints, I also used these Foliage brushes, which I got from Jackson's. You can buy these individually from other places, but this was just a bonus that I was able to add on to my order, and I was really excited about what kind of textures I was able to get. A lot of these textures I worked out previously over here. Just make some room. As I hinted at earlier, I was able to do some really fun play with these paints. Oh, I did that this way before I did a painting. This is just me playing with a round brush, and then this first one is this Foliage brush. The second one is the dagger brush. The third one, and to be honest, it's my favorite, is the Deerfoot stippler. And then this one over here was the small fan. So let's look over here. Maybe it'll be a little more clear. This one here was definitely, this was the Foliage comb, which you can tell even just with the width of the stroke. I think it's going to be super duper useful. This was done with the dagger striper. Dagger is one of my favorite brushes in general. I do have a few others, including the Scroggy Loose Goose from Cheap Joe's Art Supplies. Love that one. This one here was the Deerfoot, the darker, and then the fan brush. I was able to kind of work out, not just in this sample of brush strokes that I was kind of playing around with in terms of looking at how the paint worked as well as looking at how the brush worked. But I also then did a painting of a couple of mushrooms. I really just wanted to take a reference photo that I have of the forest floor that had way too much information to accurately convey what was on the floor, and instead draw all of your focus to the mushrooms, and the rest of the painting your mind fills in what those shapes are. Grass and dirt and twigs and all that kind of stuff. Almost like it's fuzzily sort of out of focus. That was what I was going for. And I think these brushes are super awesome. I really love them. Do you have to have these brushes to get these effects? No. You could definitely play around with other brushes to get these sort of short ones. If you hold onto your brush at the base and then do short motions, you would get something like that. You can also use, kind of fuzz this out, which is an angled brush, and to do some stipples. Normally you'll get an angle brush or a flat brush in a watercolor sample pack of brushes. So you don't need these specialty brushes, but for what I wanted to do, I was really excited about the effects that I was able to achieve. And so that all culminated in the combination of the paints and the brushes coming together to make this piece, which I was really happy with. It's a little bit of a abstract landscape, and then it also has an illustrative quality to the mushroom. There's some quiet space, and then there's a lot of information, a lot of brush strokes in other areas. The texture, love it. I think this is definitely a set of brushes and a grouping of paint that I'm going to use again. I also wanted to share with you this painting that I did of an American crow. It is set in the West from a photo that I found on Unsplash, and I will definitely give credit to the photographer for the image. And I was really working on the use of black mixes, so not just out of the tube black, but actually creating mixes from complementary colors, in this case yellow and purple, green and red, blue and orange. And so that's why you see a little bit of that contrast as well, the blue and orange. And I think it was pretty successful. I'm really happy with this piece. So I am probably going to make prints of that and list this for sale. I purchased this book recently. I think it's Katie Ewing, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but she posted about this book on Instagram, and it just seemed to be really up my alley, and so I purchased it, and I was not unhappy with my purchase. So just a quick flip through, even if you just go to like the table of contents, this is a beautiful book. For them to lay out the colors in a circle is so simple, but yet surprising. And so right from the very beginning, I was really interested in this book. It is published in North America by Princeton University and has several contributors who are all experts in their field, whether it be minerals, color, natural history, etc. And it just looks at a German system that was created in 1774 by a guy named Abraham Werner. I'm not so interested in that, but I'm more interested in the visuals, to be honest with you. So, for example, he's looking at how to take colors directly out of nature and specify them so that across a series of people there's an understanding of what that color is and where it can be found. So here's just some examples of colors that he's got on here. I saw jasper somewhere. Cinnabarite, jasper with inclusions. So, you know, it's super interesting how they are looking at color. And of course, because a lot of the paints that I work with are mineral based, that intrigues me. But also, let me just go through here. They've got this beautiful fold outs of the different colors. What is the bulk of the book is just looking at, okay, here's the snow white color. Where can it be found in the natural world, in an animal, in a vegetable, and in a mineral? And then you go over and you can see specifically what they're talking about. So they're saying this snow white can be seen visible in the breast feathers of this black headed gull. In this one, it can be seen in the petal of the snowdrop, and here in the piece of quartz, it's embedded. The crystal is embedded in it. So that's most of the book, is going through all these different colors and where you can find them in nature. I think this is a really interesting book, visually fascinating, and I'm going to enjoy looking at it for the next few days at least as I deep dive into it. So that's it for this time. If you like this content and want more of my vlogs, how-tos, etc., please like and subscribe. And also, you can always go to creativebloomdesigns.net or Instagram. My handle is Susie Pogue. Thank you. See you next time.